Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever been near a BBQ or maybe just looked at a salad bar, you've probably heard warnings about nitrates and nitrites.
Mhm.
Yeah, they get painted as like these terrible toxins sometimes.
Especially during grilling season.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to cut through some of that noise. We're diving into the actual biochemistry.
Mhm.
And we've got some fascinating research from British and Norwegian scholars to guide us. Our mission here really is to boost your critical thinking. Is this stuff a poison or maybe, just maybe, part of a Nobel Prize-winning lifeline for our bodies? Let's find out.
It's a great question. And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how necessary this chemical pathway is. We're talking about nitric oxide, NO. This is a vital molecule. So vital, its discovery, or rather the understanding of its function, won the Nobel Prize in Medicine back in '98.
Wow, okay. Nobel Prize level stuff.
Absolutely. It's a powerful signaling molecule. It essentially tells blood vessels to relax, which means, lower blood pressure. And yes, it's also the core biochemical reason things like Viagra work for
Right.
penile erection. Now, our bodies, they naturally make NO from arginine, the amino acid. But here's the catch. As we age, that internal production line, it slows down quite a bit, actually.
Uh-huh.
So that raises a really important question. How do older adults keep that crucial blood pressure regulation going if their body isn't making as much NO internally?
Okay, so there must be another way, an alternative pathway, especially for older people. And that's where dietary nitrate comes in, the very thing people are often warned about.
Precisely. It becomes absolutely vital.
So walk us through that. How does nitrate from food turn into this essential nitric oxide?
Okay, so it starts with the nitrate you eat. Then, crucially, bacteria in your mouth, good bacteria living in your saliva, they convert that nitrate into something called nitrate.
In the saliva.
Yep, right there in the saliva. Then you swallow, and that nitrate, once it hits the acidic environment of the stomach, gets converted into nitric oxide.
So the compound often labeled a poison is actually being made deliberately in our own saliva as a crucial first step.
Exactly. It's an essential intermediate manufactured right there.
That's incredible. And the main sources, you mentioned food, we're
Right.
talking leafy greens, beetroot.
Primarily, yes. Green leafy vegetables are packed with nitrates, and beetroot too. In fact, the study we're looking at used beetroot juice as the nitrate supplement.
Okay, and this study looked at younger versus older adults. What did they find?
They did. They had about 39 younger adults and 36 older adults. And the findings were pretty striking. Drinking the beetroot juice, it raised blood nitrate and nitrite levels and lowered blood pressure in both groups, as expected.
Right.
But here's the really interesting part, the core discovery. The older group, they showed a greater increase in blood nitrate and nitrite.
More. Why would that be?
It suggests their bodies are actively compensating. Because their internal NO production is lower, it looks like their oral microbiome shifts. It adapts
Right.
to favor the bacteria that are really good at that first step, converting nitrate to nitrate.
Wow. So the body's essentially recruiting more bacterial help as it gets older.
It seems that way. It's a fascinating compensatory mechanism.
So if it's all about those mouth bacteria, I bet the researchers tested that somehow. Did they try to, disrupt the bacteria?
They did, and it was a really clever control, served as absolute proof, really. They had the participants use an antibacterial mouthwash.
Ah, okay. What happened then?
The effect vanished. The blood pressure lowering benefit from the beetroot juice completely eliminated.
Just like that.
Just like that. Wiping out those key oral bacteria by using the mouthwash shut down that whole nitrate to no pathway. It stopped the process right at the start.
That really drives home how important those little microbes are.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings us back to critical thinking and, the big scare story, nitrosamines, often linked to processed meats, BBQs. The media sometimes makes it sound deadly. Why the hype? Is it overblown?
Well, I think over-sensationalized is a fair description, yes, because the chemistry often gets misunderstood or misrepresented. Nitrosamines can form when nitrate combines with something called free amines. These are basically breakdown products of protein, and this happens under specific conditions like high heat or strong acid.
Okay, so heat, acid, nitrite, and these amines.
Right. Now, some animal studies have shown links between nitrosamines and cancer. That's true. But here's the critical part. There is currently no clear, direct evidence that dietary nitrosamines cause cancer in humans.
No clear evidence in humans.
Correct. The concern, especially when you isolate it from the overall context of diet and lifestyle, often feels disproportionate to the actual human data we have. It gets overly sensationalized.
That distinction feels really important. So, nitrates and nitrites from vegetables seem to offer clear, evidence-backed health benefits through this Nobel-winning NO pathway,
Hmm.
whereas the risks people associate with them might actually be more about the context, like processed meats, grilling methods.
Exactly. When we talk about health concerns with processed or heavily grilled meats, the issues are often tangled up with other things. Things like high saturated fat, lots of salt, high calories. And also, the high heat grilling itself generates other potentially harmful compounds, separate from nitrosamines, that can promote oxidation and inflammation, potentially raising blood pressure too.
So it's not just the nitrite, it's the whole package.
It's the whole package. We need to distinguish between the source and the context. Vegetable nitrates contributing to vital NO production is biologically very different from nitrites in heavily processed, high-fat, grilled meat.
So what's the big takeaway here from this deep dive?
I think it shows that our understanding of food chemistry really needs to go beyond just the scary headlines. Critical thinking is key. It helps us separate the proven necessary biology, like this vital nitric oxide pathway, from risks that might be, well, exaggerated or taken out of context, like the nitrosamine fear.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it. If something as simple and common as antibacterial mouthwash can potentially knock out a critical, Nobel Prize-winning pathway, a pathway your body even develops complex workarounds for as you age, just to regulate your blood pressure. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other seemingly harmless things we do every day might be messing with our body's essential chemistry without us even realizing it. Something to think about next time you maybe reach for that mouthwash or perhaps reach for some leafy greens instead.